Nigerians mark Workers' Day amid petrol scarcity, clamour for new minimum wage. Federal government says new minimum wage will take effect from May 1st, 2024. NLC, TUC give FG ultimatum to reverse new electricity tariff. On the foreign scene, arrest warrant issued for ex-Central African Republic President Francois Bozize. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's news update. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thanks for joining us. Nigerian workers on Wednesday joined their counterparts in other parts of the world to mark the 2024 International Labour Day, also known as May Day or Workers' Day. The May Day, an annual ritual celebrated on May 1st of every year, honors the contributions and feats of workers worldwide, as well as the vital roles of workers in building resilient societies and productive economies. This year's Workers' Day is the first under President Bola Tinubu, who was sworn in as the leader of Africa's most populous nation on May 29, 2023. President Tinubu had introduced some sweeping reforms, including petrol subsidy removal and unification of the foreign exchange windows when he took over last May, to decisions that have been flayed by labor groups, the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress. The government has continued to placate citizens with the introduction of palliatives as interim interventions and encouraging them to endure the pain of the moment.
Without considering the people's needs, governance fails. Government must align with the people's interests, not self-serving agenda. We demand results, not empty promises. It is time to prioritize the welfare of Nigerians above all else. As we celebrate, let us honor the tireless workers who shape our world. Together in solidarity, with march towards a brighter future for us. Without workers, there is no progress.
Still on the day celebrations over in Katsina State, it was celebrated amidst lamentations over poor working conditions, fuel scarcity and high cost of living. The workers who said they are overburdened by debts also lamented the escalating inflation and insecurity, saying there is little or nothing to cheer about. Abdullah Yamadi tells us more.
Tricycler Association of Nigeria. Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, Servants of Nigeria, Federal Revenue.
Living costs, wage grants, and minimum wage increase dominate discourse among workers and non-workers in Katsina State, with many arguing that the partial implementation of wage grants among retirees and civil servants is a deliberate attempt to put down workers and scuttle the economy of the state. Many civil servants in the state are of the view that though their monthly salaries have been consistent, there is, however, an urgent need to implement a living wage that will salvage them from the prevailing economic downturn. Speaking on the sidelines of the Workers' Day celebration, Katsina residents encouraged labor leaders to remain steadfast and not to agree to anything short of a living wage, considering the harsh economic realities occasioned by fuel subsidy removal, uncontrolled inflation, and continuous devaluation of the Naira.
This country is a very big country that has all the resources we need to take care of the workers. Unfortunately, we are less paid, and you know the economic challenges and the hardship we are facing.
We are facing definitely terrible economic situation, but we are hoping, we are confident that the government is doing something to ensure that new minimum wage come into limelight.
Labour leaders also made some of their demands clear to the government with hope that Governor Dikko Rada will meet them.
And I also want to sincerely appreciate the Katsina State workers, both the state and local government, for their continued support of this administration. I hereby assure you of the government's support and consideration for working closely with you to address some of the outstanding issues toward improved welfare to workers in the state.
Critical stakeholders are asking for a clear-cut path towards ameliorating the current economic hardship being experienced by Nigerians, noting that it is the only option to guaranteeing the security of lives and property. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Now the federal government says although the tripartite committee on national minimum wage is yet to conclude its negotiations, workers will not lose anything as the new minimum wage will take effect from May 1, 2024. The Minister of State Labour, Nkiruka Onyejocha, stated this on Wednesday while addressing Nigerian workers at the May Day celebration in Abuja. She said it is regrettable the new national minimum wage is not ready before today, but that a wide consultation is ongoing to ensure that the document is out together as soon as possible. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has lauded the contributions of workers in Nigeria to the growth of the country. He gave the commendation in his address to the workers presented by Vice President Kashim Shettima as an event to mark the 2024 Workers' Day in Abuja. He said the federal government is open to receive the recommendations of the Committee on the new national minimum wage. The federal government has approved a 25 to 35% increase in the salary structures of police officers, the armed forces, public servants, among others. It announced this on Tuesday through the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, stating that the salary raise takes effect from January 1, 2024. The agency, in a statement issued by its head of press, Emmanuel Njoko, said the approved increase was for civil servants and the remaining 6 consolidated salary structures. Nigerian labour unions and government are still discussing on the new minimum wage for workers. The Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, have appealed to the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, and power sector operators to reverse the increase in electricity tariff within 1 week. President of the unions, Joe Ajeru and Festus Osifo, made the call on Wednesday in a joint speech to mark the 2024 Workers' Day in Abuja. The duo expressed dissatisfaction over the epileptic power situation, which is affecting the economic growth of the country. According to them, any nation incapable of effectively and efficiently managing its energy resources must face certain ruin. They said it was absolutely critical for the government to collaborate with the people to establish frameworks that ensure energy works for all Nigerians. According to the duo, the plight of the power sector remains unchanged over a decade after the privatization of the sector. Now, the student of the Nigerian Navy Secondary School Imeri in Ose, local government area of Ondo State, Jethro Onose, who was abducted by suspected gunmen, has regained freedom. According to reports, the young Onose was kidnapped alongside his father, Maliki Onose, while returning to school after the 3 weeks holiday. The duo were waylaid and abducted on the notorious routes between the border towns of Ondo and Edo States. Commander of the Ondo State Security Network Agency, otherwise known as Amotekun Corps, Adetuji Adeleye, confirmed the rescue of the student and his father on Wednesday morning. Adeleye said the rescue operation between the Navy and the Amotekun Corps led to the freedom of both the father and his son from the kidnappers' den. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has recommended the establishment of a special fund for the protection of the nation's schools as a way to address the increasing attacks on schools. Addressing members of the House at the resumption of plenary after a 6-week break, Abbas acknowledged the recent feats recorded by the security forces in some parts of the country, especially in Borno and Katsina states, where many terrorists and bandits were neutralized and weapons recovered.
The Speaker said the House will continue to support their efforts and ensure that the lives and livelihoods of all Nigerians are protected from any internal and external threats. He appealed to security agencies to leave no stone unturned in bringing the perpetrators to justice, while asking everyone involved to exercise restraint and allow the law to take its full course.
The implication of these assaults stretch far beyond the immediate pain and disruption they cause. They sow fear in communities, discourage school attendance, and potentially stifle the education of a generation. We will not allow the ambitions of our children to be thwarted by fear.
On the economy, he said the government has made significant strides towards improving the economy, adding that in the past months, the government has implemented several measures to stabilize the economy, enhance productivity, and boost investor confidence.
The release of grains, seeds, and fertilizer by the government has contributed to improving food security. Although the price of food items remains high, a better harvest in the first half of the year is expected to contribute to a positive economic outlook, as GDP growth for 2024 is projected to reach 3.2%.
The House adjourned sitting till May 7, 2024.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, will on May 15 arraign former Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele in a Federal Capital Territory court on a 3-count amended charge. In the first charge filed against him, the EFCC alleged that Emefiele disobeyed the direction of law with intent to cause injury to the public during his implementation of the Naira swap policy of the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. The anti-graft agency also accused Emefiele of unlawfully approving the withdrawal of 124.8 billion naira from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation. Emefiele is also standing trial before Justice Hamza Mwazu of the FCT High Court on an alleged 20-count amended charge preferred against him by the anti-graft agency. On a sad note, 16 passengers have been confirmed dead in a lone fatal motor accident on the Ekwebe Road along the Enugu-Opi Nsukka Road in Enugu State. According to a statement by the Police Public Relations Officer, Enugu State Command, State Headquarters, and DSP Daniel Ndukwe, on Tuesday, the accident occurred at around 5:20 p.m. Given a breakdown, he said the victims include 14 males and 2 females who, according to him, were burned beyond recognition. Explaining further, Ndukwe said the accident involving an 18-seater white-colored Toyota Hummer bus with a Bauchi State commercial registration number of DAS 215XA. A preliminary investigation revealed that the vehicle, unfortunately, burst into flames, burning beyond recognition for the 16 passengers who were confirmed dead on arrival at the hospital. This is the news update on Trust TV. Up ahead. Residents groan as queues persist. Fares skyrocket. More when we return. Please do stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. And if you're just joining us, it's the news update on Trust TV. Now a recap of our top stories. Nigerians mark Workers' Day amid petrol scarcity, clamour for new minimum wage. And we also told you that federal government says new minimum wage will take effect from May 1, 2024. A part of landmark beach on Victoria Island, Lagos on Monday was demolished to give way to the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, Nigeria's biggest public infrastructure project. This is despite the outcry in some sections about the potential jobs and means of livelihood that will be lost. Images from the demolition showed that structures erected along the coastline, including cabanas, football turf, and many others, were pulled down. A post on X from Landmark Africa, the parent company of the beach, in reaction to the exercise, read, quote, "What we built in 6 years was destroyed in 6 hours." Meanwhile, the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, while defending the demolition, noted that the move was necessary, considering the Landmark Center was located on the federal government's right-of-way. He said the original plan will not only save businesses that will be destroyed as a result of the revised plan, but also save money and manpower for the government. Queues at fueling stations in Lagos are lingering as the latest fuel scarcity continues to bite hard across the country. Checks across the city, especially in Ikeja, the state capital, reveal that some stations have been seen selling fuel queues surge, while others have jacked up their prices as demand increases.
Across Lagos, the fuel scarcity had led to an increase in transport fares as many commercial drivers are struggling to fuel their vehicles for business operations. In Ikeja, the Lagos state capital, many private filling stations have closed down and are refusing to sell fuel to residents. Those who are selling have increased prices to as much as 750 naira per litre. Some commuters aired their views on the price hike and its impact on business operations.
Some people are selling normal price, and some people are not selling normal price. Like yesterday, now the one that I bought is 610 for 100. So other businesses are selling 700.
Recently, what we are going through is not easy at all. Not easy at all, because for us to get fuel now is a war. You queue from 4 a.m. before you get fuel. Sometimes it's 11, 12. So after 11, 12, what work are you going to do that day? It's a wasteful day already.
All the filling stations has been closed. I don't know what is happening, whether they want to increase or they want low the price. I don't know. So the place we are bought now for this Agbado area, we bought the fuel per litre is 690, 750. But for this Lagos, one that I bought this morning now, I bought it 610.
While the surge in the price of fuel in Lagos State is significantly impacting business operations, it has, however, emboldened black marketers to increase their rates, with 1 litre of fuel now selling at 1,400 naira per litre, causing long queues at stations selling at normal prices, as consumers seek to avoid the exorbitant rates of the black market.
The federal government has announced plans to repatriate 20,000 Nigerians from Chad and Cameroon. The Federal Commissioner of the National Commission for Refugee, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Tijani Ahmed, announced this on Tuesday in Abuja at a technical working group meeting on the voluntary repatriation of Nigerian refugees. He said 6,000 people will be brought back from Chad, while 14,000 others will be conveyed from Cameroon in the next 2 months. The Federal Commissioner said most of the refugees were displaced by the 2022 flood, the Boko Haram crisis, the farmer-herders clashes, and the current climate change challenge. On the foreign scene, a UN-backed court in the Central African Republic has issued an international arrest warrant on Tuesday for the country's exiled former president, Francois Bozize. Bozize is wanted for human rights abuses. A spokesperson for the Special Criminal Court said the warrant covers crimes from 2009 to 2013 by the Presidential Guard and other security forces. Bozize currently lives in exile in Guinea-Bissau. The country's president, Umaru Sissoco Embalo, however, said he has not received any request from Bangui about the arrest warrant and that his country's laws do not allow for extradition. Still on the forum, since 24 people have died after a section of a mountainside highway collapsed in China's Guangdong province following days of heavy rain. 30 others were taken to hospital after a 17.9-meter stretch of the Meilong Expressway crumbled at 02:10 local time. Authorities have yet to state the cause of the incident. State radio initially reported that 19 people had died, but local authorities later said 24 people had been killed, with the number of injured persons still at 30. Footage that appeared to have been taken shortly after the collapse showed flames and black smoke billowing from below the highway. A total of 20 vehicles fell into the collapsed portion of the road, authorities said. Another video carried by state media showed a smoking pile of charred cars partially covered in mud. And in sports, the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, has defended its choice of former international winger Finidi George as the new head coach of the Super Eagles. George was on Monday named as the substantive head coach by the NFF following the recommendations of its Technical and Development Committee. A member of the influential Technical Committee and erstwhile Nigerian international Felix Owolabi said the committee picked the former Ajax winger due to his vast knowledge of the domestic league. Another ex-international, Sam Soje, however, slammed the NFF for being evasive over George's contract terms and emoluments, as it would have done were the Ayimba coach a foreigner. Red Bull have confirmed their design chief, Adrian Newey, will leave the team in early 2025. Newey, regarded as the greatest designer in the history of Formula One, told Red Bull last week he wanted to leave in the wake of the controversy involving allegations about team principal Christian Horner. Newey's next team has not been decided, but Ferrari are hot favourites to sign him. Newey has been at Red Bull since 2005 and has overseen two dominant eras with the team from 2010 to 2014, when they won 4 consecutive drivers and constructors titles with Sebastian Vettel, and the current era with Max Verstappen. Last year, Verstappen and Red Bull produced the most dominant season in F1 history, the Dutchman winning 19 of the 22 races, and the team all but won. They look on course for a similar performance after winning 4 of the first 5 races this season. Newey previously had multiple championship winning success at both Williams and McLaren. And with that, we've come to the end of News Update at this hour. For more news, programs and documentaries, please do well to follow us on all our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for watching us.